85-15. And then in game number 2, very little aggregate data, but all of them 100-0 matchups for Riley. So yeah, we'll see if Vitor can bounce back here with a little bit better. Vitor, top of your screen, FURKAN at the bottom.
We see a Furnace from FURKAN. Makes sense. Very strong. And then Hero Dark Prince as well. I think it's very common just to play your strong cards. Get your Evos in cycle. You know, use that hero. I think the thing with the hero, it's not exactly the same as an Evo, like getting your Evos in cycle, but it's just the flexibility that you have. Like, okay, I'm going to play this card, and depending on the situation, you know, you never know. Even in the first minute of the game, you never know if one Hero Dark Prince ability could change everything. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a great point that you make, just talking about, you know, evolutions changing how we saw the game played. I think most specifically with Royal Giant. Royal Giant was a card that we almost never saw in single elixir back in the day, but once the Evo RG came into play, we see it used a lot more aggressively and a lot more often in single elixir. And yeah, I agree with the strength of heroes. You know, and there we go, RG coming down here at the bridge, opposite lane. With the strength of heroes, also, you never know if you can, quote-unquote, starting hand your opponent. As, wow, a lot of damage coming in here from FURKAN. He does play that Goblin Hunt late. Didn't have the elixir early on, but you see the idea of getting those spears out to create a little bit of DPS on top of that Royal Giant. But damage already done.
My goodness. I'm trying to figure out what happened. What went wrong for FURKAN here? Because look how much damage is coming through. He does have an Evo Furnace for some sort of semblance of a counter push. Will he play the Graveyard here or not is the question. He just lets it go.
Yeah, brutal. He opts not to.
Brutal start.
Yeah, just recognizing the situation, maybe, you know, not wanting to spend more elixir and find himself flat-footed as he did earlier. And his cycle now a little bit more on track. But Vitor, blood in the water, just going hyper-aggressive here. Probably going to pop that ability, and he does.
Yeah. He does. 3 elixir abilities, spawn on the Rhino, forcing out an entire Evo snowball. But I also like the way that FURKAN's taking this. Like, he's just, you know, I'm down damage. It's okay. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure I don't take more. And then maybe somewhere down the line, I'll have the opportunity I need to win and make that push and get that damage through.
And Lightning going to come in, and this is just absolutely brutal. And to answer your question from earlier, Juicy, it was a cycled Furnace on the right-hand side, followed by a cycled Giant Skeleton towards the right-hand side behind King Tower. And Vitor just goes, that's way too much elixir to be spending in single. And I'm going to go ahead and punish opposite lane.
Makes a lot of sense. Graveyard comes through for
good damage.
A wild amount of damage. RG from Vitor at the bridge, Giant Skelly. Plus Berserker. Does he get the Goblin Hunt down in time? He does not. The shake of the head. Lightning's down. RG connects. And like you said, that is it. That's going to be first game going to VITOR75.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's is because there's just so many more options and combinations out there as the turkey spam in the chat goes wild, trying to cheer their guy on here in an elimination game. FURKAN now, if he loses another game, is eliminated from the competition this month. Vitor with a life to give as a barrel comes out from him. And I like this, going with something that is going to, you know, keep your opponent on their toes, an outplayability deck that Vitor is running.
Yeah.
And one that also, when you feel the nerves, is one that can create some mistakes.
That's just 2 perfect call-outs, like 2 things exactly I was going to say, is like the power of this bait deck. I mean, we saw earlier, I forget actually which best of 3 it was now, but I mean, I think it was, oh man, I'm not going to try and remember. I think it was sub, but anyways, the point is that this log bait deck on paper should have no chance versus FURKAN's deck. He's going to have a log, he has E-Spear, he has a quick cycle, but we saw a very similar thing earlier where the magic archers and the quick cycle and the outplayability this deck has ended up spelling a very nice win anyways. So it's all going to come down to how FURKAN is able to deal with the pressure, and if Vitor is going to be able to stack these the pressure while also having good defense.
And that Fire Spirit clears the Skellies off the board, so the Evo Tesla has to come out. Vitor's also done a good job of of making Furkan spend his Evos where he doesn't want to. We saw that Evo Snowball being used defensively on the other side. Now this Hero Marcher is going to line up a Hero Marcher of Vitor's, taking it off the board and getting tanked for by the fake Goblins. So just an insane amount of damage. This is exactly what we were just talking about, Juicy, is just, you know, making you make mistakes because of the pressure and the quick cycle of the insane offense. But Furkan gets a little bit of damage back. Hog Rider in, 2101, the lowest tower for Vitor, 1666, the lowest tower for Furkan.
Yeah. I was just laughing a little bit there because Furkan on purpose is taking some damage in order to save up the elixir, go for the hog, while the Inferno is not enough elixir for Vitor. And the delivery Fire Spirit stops it to one hit, and there was just this very slight twitch of Furkan's eyebrows after that. And he's like, are you kidding me? You're defending my hog with a Fire Spirit and a delivery, and there's only one hit coming through. It's definitely not what he wanted there.
Yeah, Adriel has one of my favorite reactions where he just does like a millisecond raise of the eyebrows when something does not go the way he wants, or when something goes perfectly for him. And that was kind of what we saw there from Furkan as he gets this Mega Knight to almost tank for that hog, but the lightning going to reset the tower on top of the hog. But this game is already a lot closer than it was just moments ago. And now Furkan with the the hero shot from the Magic Archer, now very close. Oh, the lineup.
A good Tesla, though, to stun and reset. We have E-Spear on the right side, trying to conserve elixir once again. Maybe wants to make another hog lightning push, but going to opt to reset in the back. Not going to be a King Tar activation from Vitor, trying to make it happen. But this is where Furkan's deck really starts to shine here, where he's going to start just making these Mega Knight, hog, lightning, Magic Archer pushes. Let's see what Vitor's got here.
And the delivery to take that Mega Knight, the Inferno to catch the hog. Vitor does have the opposite lane to think about as well, only being separated by 400 HP, but ahead by 400 in total on the left-hand side.
Wow, that was beautiful. That was a really nice defense there of the anti-lightning Inferno placement with the pushover on the hog while spreading out his Magic Archer. But now that we're in double, and especially triple elixir here with 3 seconds left in double, we're really going to see it's going to become more and more difficult for Vitor to actually do something here because of the Tesla stack, because of the log cycle, because of the Mega Knights on the board.
And a very nice lineup here for Furkan. Vitor focused on the Magic Archer, or excuse me, on the Mega Knight, so the Magic Archer does a nice lineup there, and now Vitor can tell things are starting to fall off the wheels very, very quickly, now within lightning range, and Furkan evens things up. Vitor and Furkan both with no lives to give. We are going to a best of one to see who is going to be eliminated, and you can see Vitor of Lava. So on the day, he was actually 4-1 with Lava Hound, so we could see him maybe going to the skies. And a good look out from both players, both of them recognizing that this could be, it is going to be one of their final games. Both of them not wanting that to be the case, as we see a bit of a pause here. Maybe Furkan going Royal Giant, maybe Vitor going to the skies. And there it is. Vitor heard me. He's watching the broadcast.
And we do see a mortar from Vitor. Bowler to counter.
Mortar in both directions.
Yeah, it's actually a good call. Oh, you're right. It might be a mirror matchup of Boulder Mortar. Insta ability from Vitor. And there is the Rascals looking more and more like a Mortar deck. Oh, what a nice Rascal placement, actually. That was insane.
Yeah, saving the girls. The boy taking all the tankage there. And Rascal's getting a slight nerf, at least a work-in-progress nerf right now, or they're going to lower the boy's HP from 1940 to 1868. So not huge, but definitely something worth noting, as we are seeing a very similar look on both sides from these guys, as a Mortar Skelly Barrel combo with Hero Bowler.
Man, I've been playing against this deck recently, and it's so annoying, and it's so good, because you just have so much pressure. You have the Mortar and Skelly Barrel Evo combo, which on their own, that is really hard to deal with, because, a lot of the time, you want to use your building, or you want to use your spells on one or the other, or you want to use them both, but you can only do one or the other. But then you put the Bowler on top of that, where it's like, okay, now there's a LeBron shooting freaking rocks at my tower from like a mile away while there's a Mortar on one side. It's really going to be about who can control the chaos the best here.
Yeah, it almost feels like there's always a quote-unquote Mortar on the board with this said deck, and then you have to think about defending low and high with that Skeleton Barrel, and You know, the Dart Goblin is a great way to take the Skelly Barrel out of the skies for cheap.
I think another big thing to mention here is these minions, because Vitor has minions compared to FURKAN's guards right now.
Yeah.
And I think the minions are really good for sniping out the mortars over the river, sniping out the boulders over the river, but also just the fact that, you know, neither of these players have very good spells or any way to deal with the minions. And we're already seeing how the minions are showing up for Vitor right now.
And Dart Goblin comes down as that mortar is focused on the bowler for a second. And then Dart Goblin here to create a little bit more pressure on the opposite side as those minions that you were talking about, Juicy, have to get kited away by the guards.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like the minions are going to be a lot more frustrating to deal with than the guards.
Evo Mortar from Vitor already forced FURKAN to use his Evo Mortar on defense. This might be the situation that Vitor has been working towards to get a big damage connection. But looks like FURKAN's doing a pretty good job of, once again, just controlling the chaos. Can you hold on for dear life as all of these units start dropping down?
Nice fireball there. One skeleton should get on tower. No, it's actually a goblin that gets on tower, which is worse for FURKAN.
True. Another mortar from Vitor, just trying to keep up the pressure. And then once again, we see these minions. And with fireball being out of cycle right now, these minions just really shred the bowler. Really nice bowler from FURKAN, though. It actually hits the Dark Op and the mortar there.
Wow.
And he actually, off of that beautiful defense, is going to try and put together his own offense for the first time in what seems like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and the Skeleton Barrel not getting pulled by the mortar, and the mortar of Vitor distracted initially by the Barbarian, so ends up not... I mean, it's kind of still a straight across trade there for FURKAN and Vitor. 24-35, 27-82, respectively for FURKAN and Vitor in terms of their tower health and the lowest tower on the board. Nice fireball value there.
Nice Dark Op as well, kind of predicting some minions. Vitor just saying, but defensive Evo Mortar just saying, I'm in the lead, I'm going to hold on to this lead no matter what it takes.
Yeah, you never really want to have to use your Evo Mortar defensively, but sometimes you have to, and then also other times, like you just mentioned, Juice. Oh, and that mortar should get a shot. Does it? Oh my gosh, there it is. Okay, wow. Just taking forever.
Yeah. Fireball's going to drop down. All of a sudden, we have a very close game. Wait a second.
This pile up at the bridge. Oh, the bowler, the great equalizer in all of this. Now the minions behind, and that should be enough to stop any death damage through. But does he have... Yes, he hits his own mortar on the board. Now fireball's out in each direction again. He needs to play a unit. He needs to play a unit.
Wait, the mortar logs.
That mortar should get a shot. The mortar gets a shot, and Vitor knows it's over.
Oh my gosh. And Vitor, FURKAN is laughing. He calls the good game, and he knows it's over. That is it. Wow. I take it over. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
Man, the pressure from Vitor, or for Vitor, from FURKAN was so clean at the end of that game. It looked like it was going to be a fireball race between the two of them, that Vitor would win. But then the pile up at the bridge, okay, pile up at the bridge, no problem. Vitor's got the bowler there to kind of equalize everything, but there's just so much DPS from the Dark Goblin, from the Rascal Girls, everything there takes the bowler out of play, so then a mortar has to come down. Now Vitor has no elixir.